All right, this is what started it all. Well, there was the Tetrad back in 2014, 2015. Maybe I'll do a video for that too. This was the 14th of November 2016. This was right after Russia put Trump in as president of the United States. Yes, Russia put Trump in as president. He did not win, and more will come out as more is allowed to be revealed. Notice that the moon, that's why I panned back, is because I want to show, you can't see my cursor. Virgo is almost center. We're going to go to Virgo here in a minute. The moon over in Taurus, over to the right, is a supermoon. It's illuminated over here on the left. It says illuminated 99.8%. And so if I go throughout the day, it'll eventually say full moon, maybe. And I know it says new moon. I haven't actually checked to see if it does full moon, but I'm not going to do it for this video. And so this was a super moon. And so a week after Russia has a coup in America, putting Trump in as the king, that's when the full moon occurred, or the supermoon occurred. Full moon, supermoon. Alright, so now let's come back in. And we'll try to get everything in the frame. Okay. We got Mars down here by Capricorn, and so the significance of this is interesting. Okay, so in Virgo, we'll pull up a little more. We'll pan back for Mars later. This is referring to Revelation chapter 12, verse 1 through 5. It's talking about the woman who's pregnant, who gives birth to the man-child. Well, the signs that were set up in Revelation refer to the sun is her clothing, and the moon is at her feet. There's nothing here that can click to have you know where I'm talking about. Yeah, she gives birth. Well, as all people know, women have to first conceive. And here's the conception day, right here. It is November 14th, 2016. Jupiter enters the womb of the woman. So I'll do that to highlight where I'm talking about. And so there it is on a super moon, full moon, impregnating the virgin with the man-child who is to rule the world. And the sun is being judged. The sun is the father of Jupiter, and the sun you'll see is in the middle of Libra. It's being judged, and so thus conception. And Mercury is very curiously at the middle prong of the constellation of Scorpius. The upper one here is Akrab. All planets who pass that are symbolically reenacting the Garden of Eden story of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This is what Akrab refers to symbolically is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And so those who pass by it are being tested. You have the scales of judgment, and thus at the end you are tested. And if you're all alone, that's bad news. If you've got the sun with you, it's good news. Mercury, however, is not with the sun as it passes by Akrab. And so it is not approved. Thus, Trump was not approved. And as we go through this, you'll see that Mercury represents Trump. Because Trump wasn't around 1,000 years ago, so somebody else represented Mercury back then. Okay, so let's see, we got Jupiter, we got the Sun, and we got the super full moon, and we've got Trump being put in as president by the Russians, and he wants to be king. Alright, I think now we should pull back. Here's Mars. We've already established that Mercury is Trump, the government leader now. Even though he's the fake government leader, he likes to say fake news all the time. Well, he's the fake president. And the true King of Kings has now been conceived. And so then Mars is left to be the religious leader, the male patriarchal leader of the corrupt church or the fake church. Because there's no need for the last days Jewish Messiah if the government and the religion were righteous, and they aren't. The need for the last days Messiah. And as I've already indicated, this refers to America. It has to do with a future sign I'll be getting to, the total solar eclipses that cross in America. That's how we know that everything has to do with America, not Jerusalem, as many people have assumed, because that's what the stories say in the Gospels. Jerusalem, Armageddon, nope, America. So that's what's going on there. And under Venus, Venus is the representation of the church members. And Mars, did I tell you that Mars, the fake church, is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? And so you'll have to watch all these videos together to understand prerequisites to knowing all this. And so, yes, I've identified Mars in February 2017, and we'll get to that one. But you'll notice here, the leader of the Mormon Church is right here. You can't see me, can you? Is right here at the goat beast Capricornus, which is the horn of Capricorn also, which the horn was used as a warning message or a message device, alerting people's attention. And with the goat beast, half goat, half fish, that's well understood as Lucifer, the goat beast. And so any planet representation here, or person represented at this front gate, shall we say, at the end of the horn of Capricorn, is giving a satanic message. And so this would be Russell M. Nelson, who had just become the president of the Quorum of the 12 with the 2014-2015 Tetrad, where they lost 3 apostles, including President Packer of the 12, so that Nelson would replace him. And so, yeah, I should have uh, checked on what Nelson had done on 14th of November. Uh, Possibly that could have been when the church had their lighting ceremony. He may have been the speaker. So that would be interesting if that turns out to be the case in this instance. So, yeah, I should have checked beforehand. Sorry I didn't. But that's how it works. He's giving some kind of a talk or a lesson or a speech. He could have done a fireside thing. Who knows? I can't access the internet while I'm doing this because I'd have to take it down. So I can't bottom the whole thing either. So yeah. But those are the kinds of things you check to find out how the interpretation works. And let's see. So yeah, Venus. You'll notice Venus is doing attacks. They're in the arch of Sagittarius, and so they're battling at this point. And so it seems Nelson is giving a talk to members of the church. Battle. We'll have to check their website, see if I can find anything, or do a Google search, see if there's anything. Alright, so that's pretty much all we need for this one. Saturn, the father of Jupiter, again is right here in the middle between the serpent, and his head's on the one half, and the tail is on the other half. See the serpent here? Can't see the thing. The top listing, it has SER. That means serpens for serpentine. And so Saturn is right in the middle, which is Ophiuchus, which is the symbol of the throne of God, because it's considered a god battling the serpent. And so Saturn being right there in the middle, you notice right there between his legs, even symbolizing the fruit of the loins, giving birth to Jupiter through the Virgo. So, see how that works? The father, Saturn, giving or impregnating Virgo, the son, Jupiter, who is to take back and restore the kingdom from the evil Trump. And the son is being judged at this time, which has to do with Saturn conceiving the child. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff, huh? And this is all in retrospect, because when it first came out, I first found out about the total solar eclipse on the 4th of November from my local Fox 13 News here in Utah. And so I just knew that something was up, and this was the start of it. And once I found the birth date, quote unquote birth date, it's not his actual birth, and I just did the video and posted it for you about the actual December 25th birth date, which is not the birth date either. It's actually when the king gets crowned and overcomes Trump, who gets indicted. Yeah, this is it. This is the conception date of the man-child. So, yeah, I'm going back in retrospect with what I've learned so far, and so Saturn, seeing that position, that confirms what I had already understood about the conception date of Jupiter. So, alrighty. Alright, the only thing I can find for the 14th of November 2016 was the earthquake that struck New Zealand. And the church news said that they had members that were helping out in Christchurch, New Zealand. Other than that, the lighting ceremonies, there's actually this coming weekend, I guess, is the lighting ceremony, if they're going to have one. I didn't even check because I was looking for 2016, but it was on the 22nd of November back in 2016, or 25th. The report was on the 22nd. So, yeah. The Hurricane Matthew had struck in September, and Nelson was a part of that as the president of the Quorum of the 12. So I couldn't find any specific talks that he was giving, but he was the president of the Quorum of the 12 at that time. So, sorry, I guess I couldn't find any convincing thing on that.